Let's start with the classic Peter, our favorite election conspiracy theorist. Pretty out there. I say this as someone wearing light-up glasses and goggles and horns. Peter believes falsely that Donald Trump is going to return to the presidency miraculously and stage a military coup in order to take out centrist milquetoast Joe Biden. So let's take a look at what his hopium is looking like today. The title of this video is Why Mike Lindell's Prediction That Trump Will Be Back in August is a Big Deal. Let's check it out.
Why Mike Lindell saying
Oh, Peter, what happened to your audio? What are you doing?
Trump will be back in August is actually a really big deal. I'm going to dive right into why this is a big deal, a big statement, a lot bigger than a lot of people realize. Also, I'm going to give you a channel update on where the future of my business and my video content is going to be at the end of this video.
Oh, I'm so excited to find out the future of this guy sitting in front of his camera being delusional. Maybe I relate.
My name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter's Political Perspective. Click on the description button on the bottom right corner of the screen so you can stay updated on all the optimistic news on how Trump is winning. So,
hear all the optimistic news about how all our political enemies are going to be rounded up and murdered. You know, optimism.
Let's dive right into it. There have been, from what I understand, 3 different people who have given out dates on when Trump will return. I think
a lot of people have given out dates on when they think Trump will return, and they're all wrong because that's not how any of this works.
4. There was Linwood, who said in January he was wrong, but Linwood's so credible person, he just didn't understand the plan.
Then how is he credible? What do you mean credible? He was just confused about the international conspiracy to destroy an entire political party and usurp control of the most powerful country on the planet.
There was Simon Parks, who said in April or March initially, and then he changed to April. There's Charlie Ward, who was also saying April, March.
Well, today's April 6th, so I'm gonna say March is probably out.
There's 107, who is saying April as well. Here's the difference with Mike Lindell giving a date in August. It's a very big difference. Linwood, he stopped giving dates out after he was wrong about the whole thing. Charlie Ward and Sam Parks keep moving the goalposts and giving other dates because they claim to have insider information, but really they don't.
How are you determining that, Peter, if every single person that you've referenced ever has been wrong, and they have been, because all this Q shit has never made a correct prediction, ever, then how are you determining which people who are wrong are credible, and which people who are constantly wrong are credible? Where are you putting the credibility? They've not been right about anything. There are just predictions that they've made whose date has not passed yet. But some of these people have made false predictions in the past. Is your credibility just determined by whether or not it has been proven wrong yet? Like, well, they're predictions in the future, so they're credible.
And so
he's so desperate to hold on to this conspiracy. It's sad.
They don't sell as many products, and the reputation is already pretty tarnished.
He just cited the fact that Mike Lindell sells pillows for a living is why he's credible on the attempted military coup. How many pillows do I have to sell before you believe me with absolutely no vetting, Peter? Is 10 enough? Is it 20? Is it 100? Is it 1,000? How many pillows, Peter?
So it's okay for them to just put out wrong information and get it wrong, and then they're like, oh, they have an excuse for their followers. But with Mike Lindell, we have someone who is the most famous person in the world.
Does he think Mike Pillow is the most famous person in the world? No. Beyonce exists. What are you talking about, Peter? No one knows who Mike Lindell is outside of people like us, who either slavishly believe that Mike Lindell knows inside information for no reason, or people like me who are making fun of people like you.
To have ever given a release date on when Trump will be back as president. He's
the most famous person to give a date.
the most famous of all these people. Second,
if the most famous person you have is a pillow salesman, why even bring up their fame?
he has sold products to tens of millions of Republicans. And his audience base is literally Republicans, not Democrats.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Democrats have probably bought my pillow before all this shit, but whatever.
So if he says, guys, Trump will be back by August, and he's telling this to literally his customer base that buys products from him, and he gets that wrong, not only does he lose a lot of money, he loses a lot of trust with his products too.
Yeah, he's not a smart person.
If Mike Lindell says Trump will be back in August, and he doesn't, the next time Mike Lindell says, oh, my pillow's the most comfortable, my Giza sheets are the most comfortable, people will be like, well, you were wrong about this, so why should I trust you anymore?
You were wrong about the military coup, so when you tell me your pillow's comfortable, I don't know who to trust anymore. We've all been there.
His whole business is built on trust. Do you trust Mike Lindell that
No.
his pillow is good, that his Giza
Did he just say pillow? Is he one of those people? Pillow?
sheets are good? Do you trust him? If you do, then you buy his products. If you don't trust Mike Lindell,
Ice cream does count as dinner.
he loses a ton of money. So trust is major factor in all his financial success. And he's saying, trust me, guys, again, I will tell you when Trump will be back. It'll be back in August. Now, again, Mike Lindell is one of Trump's close friends. Some people say, well, why doesn't Trump come out and say he'll be back in August? That would offend too many people and create too much drama.
I like the description of a former president coming out and being like, I'm going to take over the government unilaterally, being described as drama. Back in the 1940s in Germany, in the 1930s in Germany, there was some drama that went on, you know. There was some drama in Poland, and then in France, and then the drama just spread everywhere, you know.
He would be accused of doing a violent coup.
Yes, he would be accused of it because that would literally be what he's doing. That would you're describing what that action would be.
And it would just ruin the strategy. It's, from a strategic perspective, makes sense for Trump to go to one of those most famous and successful and trustworthy friends that has built trust with his base, which is Mike Lindell, and say, Mike Lindell, tell everyone that I will be back in August to calm them down. They trust you, Mike.
That doesn't make sense, though, Peter, because if Mike Lindell was actually as trustworthy as you were saying and people took him seriously, then Mike Lindell saying that should carry as much weight as Trump saying it himself. But implicitly, by saying that in order to not stoke fear, they're having Mike Lindell say it instead of Trump, you are saying that Mike Lindell is less trustworthy and people aren't going to take his messages seriously. Do you understand the issue with what you are saying? You cannot both say he is the most credible person that everyone believes and takes seriously, and also say they told him to tell people so people would not freak out about it. These are contradictory statements.
Tell them. On behalf of me, tell them. And so this is what Mike Lindell has done. He has, in my opinion, on behalf of Trump, on Trump's orders, because considering he's Trump's friend, before he gave out this date of Trump will be back in August, when he had talked to Trump, just to make sure that he got the date right, you would think he would. He'd be like, hey, Trump, I'm going to tell people you're going to be back in August. Is that accurate? Right? So either he was...
I love the implication that he thinks that everyone involved in this is like a good faith actor that's telling the truth and not using these things for any nefarious or personal reasons.
told by Trump to do it, or he wanted to give out a release date to his customer base, to Republicans, to cheer everyone up. And if that's the case, that he wasn't ordered by Trump, he would call Trump up and be like, hey, just let me confirm here. you think he'd be back around by August, right? And then Trump would confirm, and that's why he's so confident. Trump will be back by August. Trump will be back in August. I'm telling all my friends, Trump will be president again by August. So in the case that he was ordered to say Trump will be back by August, it's reliable information. In the case that he confirmed with Trump he'll be back by August, but he wasn't ordered to, but he was like, I need to give release date, let me confirm with Trump. Trump confirmed. In that case, it's also extremely reliable. So because of this relationship with Trump, because he might have been ordered by Trump to give this release date out,
I think he's very much overstating the relationship between Trump and My Pillow guy as well. Like, Mike Lindell visited Trump sometimes, and he was certainly a supporter of Trump and financially donated and, like, was a spokesperson for Trump. But, like, I don't think him and Trump hang out. I don't think Trump likes Mike. I think Trump deals with Mike because he suckles him. You know what I mean? Metaphorically, not literally. Because he toes the party line, the party in this case being Trump, not necessarily Republicans as a whole, but he's like a Trump sycophant, and Trump loves sycophants. Like, that's as far as their relationship goes. I don't think Trump likes Mike or trusts him in any particular way.
This is a serious date. This is the last date I'm going to give out on my channel, period. If Trump is not back by August, I will never throw out a date ever on any of my shows, any of my channels, ever again.
I like that he doesn't say that he's going to rethink his belief system. It's not that he's wrong. He's just going to stop giving dates.
Promise you that. Because I'm 100% confident in this date. Mike Lindell is Trump's friend. He's the most famous person to ever make the prediction on when Trump will be back as president. And his entire company is built on trust. Trust is the key part of his business, because honestly, his pillows don't give you the best night's sleep in the world, but
even Peter's like, those pillows, man, those pillows suck. You ever buy a pillow that's incredibly uncomfortable for political reasons? Imagine having your whole identity so wrapped up in a single politician that you buy a product that's bad at doing the one thing the product is supposed to do, specifically because a political candidate endorses it.
people trust him. People trust him. And he's telling his entire customer base, trust me. If he gets it wrong, then the next time he does his commercials, they'll be less effective. They'll be like, Mike Lindell, you were wrong about Trump come back in August. I don't trust you next time you tell me your pillow's comfortable, your Giza sheet's comfortable. He has to have a good trust with his customer base. It's critical. He's basically risking his entire company, to a certain extent, a ton of sales from his company on this statement, and he's betting his reputation on it. And he's extremely trustworthy, and he's Trump's friend. So this is a big statement from Mike Lindell. This is way bigger than I think. I think it's gone over a lot of people's heads because we've been so burnt out by days.
I didn't see your requests on Discord. I'll check them out later.
This is the date. After August, I promise you, I won't give out any other dates. I won't need to, because Trump will be back by August. I know it's a few months away, but that's okay. And everything is going to be wonderful when Trump is back. So, let me go into my channel
I already gotta take this off. I'm dying.
There's a lot of trolls in the comment section, and also YouTube, I basically confirmed that they basically said, you didn't break any rules, that's not why we're terminating your YouTube account. We just don't like your content. It's, in my opinion, what they're saying, it's over the target. My content was so truthful.
No, they banned you because of conspiracy theories. They've cracked down on election conspiracies. They did not ban you because you were just telling the truth. You can't handle the truth. No, it's because you're giving false information to people.
So accurate that they had to shut me down. Sometimes channels get shut down because they're breaking rules. They basically admitted to me, we shut you down because you're too truthful.
No, they didn't, Peter.
And then if you combine that with all the trolls who are really trying to hurt my feelings and attacking my family and my daughters and really saying horrible stuff to me and my family.
I would never attack Peter's family. They have enough to deal with with this guy as their dad/wife or husband. Sorry. That wasn't a dig. I legitimately just misspoke.
Is a good sign, people. This is a good sign. This means I'm over the target. I'm doing damage. And I'm proud of that. Am I making a lot less money now? Yeah, that's okay. But here's my plan. Mike Lindell's new Twitter/YouTube channel website is going to come out. Frank's Speech. I'm going to jump on there and go full force ahead with a brand new type of political show on that, and my goal is to become the biggest video channel on frankspeech.com.
I don't think that's going to be too hard. There's probably going to be 5 people on it.
This is a good opportunity.
And 3 of them are going to be Mike Lindell alts.
For me, as I was just deplatformed, to quickly jump on a brand new, huge, fast-growing website and become the top content creator, especially for political content, on that website. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to be focusing on that. I'm going to be preparing for that. And it's going to be a brand new show. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting. And I'm really going to enjoy doing it. I'm very excited to have it. So look forward to that. If anything would happen to this channel or any of my other channels, just remember that when Frank's Speech, Mike Lindell's website, which is a YouTube/Twitter combined, called frankspeech.com, when it comes out...
That's a terrible idea, by the way. When I want to go on, like, Twitter and read people's little things, I don't also want to watch long-form YouTube content. They're different websites for a reason.
Search for me, Peter Hanna, because the new show is not going to call Peter's Political Perspective or Peter's Trump Situation Update. Look for Peter Hanna. Search for that on the channel, on the website, and you will find my brand new show. It's going to be really good, very entertaining, and very accurate, and I'll finally be able to say all the stuff that I want to say.
Ooh! I feel like the content's gonna get spicier.
Do I know how I'm gonna make money off that website? No, not really.
You're not gonna make money off that website. I don't even think that website's gonna break even, much less be able to pay you or anyone else on it for providing content.
I have no idea how I'm gonna make money off it, but I do know is that if you do good stuff in life, and
get a MyPillow sponsorship and tell them that you're not going to get the best night's sleep on this pillow, but he's a Trump supporter, so give him money.
And you do what God wants you to do, then God will reward you. So I'm just walking on blind.
How's God been rewarding you, Peter? Your channel got deleted, and this one's probably not far behind.
Faith right now that everything's going to be okay, and that the 30 hours a week that I'm putting into this almost full time.
You're putting 30 hours a week into this? Like, no offense, Peter, but you kind of just say the same thing for weeks at a time and do like 1 video a day. That shouldn't take 30 hours a week.
It's going to pay off eventually. At a minimum, it's going to help a lot of people, and for me, that's worth it. So that's my channel update. I'm transitioning to frankspeech.com. That is my main goal right now. And at the same time, I'm going to, until that happens, I'll be posting content on this YouTube channel. And for all the haters, all the trollers, you know what? You just motivate me anymore. So,
Peter, I'm not a hater. You're just wrong. I'm telling you, you're wrong because you're wrong. Again, Peter, if you want to come on the show and talk to me about this, I'd love to have you on. That'd be excellent. I don't hate you. I hate your beliefs. Your beliefs include killing political people that you disagree with, which is disgusting. That's the worst kind of fascism, and there isn't really a good kind in the first place, so the bar is already pretty low. I don't know. I don't know what to do with Peter. He's so deep in delusion.
So go ahead, full force.
He never did reply to my invite on his channel, no.
Answer me.
His channel got deleted shortly after that, though, so the comment wasn't there, so I don't know.
Say bad stuff about me and my family. I really don't care because I'm doing God's mission and you are not. And there's a karmic justice to that. So do whatever you want. You have free will. I'm going to do what I want. And then we'll see who lives a better life. Thank you, everyone, for all the supporters.
Well, never mind. That's mean. I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
Who are supporting me. If you do have some money to donate or you can become a Patreon supporter, I would really appreciate it right now.
Let's see what his patron is up to. His Patreon has $169 per month. Nice. What's mine up to? $231 per month. Beat you again, Peter.
I really appreciate the support. So thank you for my Patreon supporters and my donators. Everyone, thank you so much for watching this video, and have a wonderful day.
Oh, Peter. I really wish you'd stop being wrong. That would be nice.
Our brightest.
It's either Trump 2021 and he comes to save us, or it's the end of the world, because this is the biggest battle in all of human history, the biggest war. Even though we haven't seen a lot of casualties, that's because, in my opinion, the good guys are winning. If Trump does not save us, it is literally the end of the world. Billions of people will die. And considering how confident Trump is, that's what makes me believe he's going to swoop in, save us, save the day, and everything is going to be okay.
Yikes. You ever... Hold on, how old is Trump? Trump is 74 years old. Can you imagine hinging whether you think the world is going to survive or not, and the majority of people on Earth are, whether or not a 74-year-old man comes and does something? Yikes.
Hi, my name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter's Political Perspective. A quick note on my channel, my previous channel, there's a small chance I might get it back. I'm working on it. Cross my fingers. Please, if you're open to it, pray to help me get my channel back. I'm going to send a message to Google, see if I can convince them to give it back. It's worked apparently in the past, even though I haven't been terminated, I've been suspended, so there's a chance I could get it back. I don't know.
You're not getting that shit back. I'm surprised you even have this channel still.
Anyway, we will see. So why do I think it's either Trump 2021 or the end of the world? Well, some people are saying, well, Trump 2024. And I'm saying, no. There is no Trump 2024. That's impossible. If Trump were to sit back and relax and the deep state really did have control of the White House and even of the military for 4 years, that would be game over. That would cause so much damage that even if Trump tried to run for 2024, there wouldn't be almost any Republicans who would vote for him that are alive or who would publicly be okay with voting for him. I mean, they're already starting to label Republicans as, you know, the big T word.
Peter, not all Republicans. I think a lot of Republicans, and even the majority, are very, very comfortable with some fashy shit at this point, and it's disgusting and very concerning. But the ones that are actually being labeled the T word, are people like the people that stormed the Capitol and tried to kill Congress people. That's why they're being called that, because they are that. And if that's your idea of being a Republican, then you're probably also that.
So there is no Trump 2024. That is not even a possibility. And
I don't think it is either. I mean, there might be like a Trump Jr. or an Ivanka, but I don't think Donald Trump will run again. He's too old. And before you're like, well, Joe Biden's that old. Yeah, Joe Biden's too old too.
When who's throwing it around just
Joe Biden's in better shape than Trump at that.
really doesn't understand politics or the magnitude of what's happening. This big
Are we not allowed to say that word on YouTube now? Yeah.
battle between good and evil. It has to be Trump winning, because if it's not, then the deep state's plan is to accelerate the depopulation for...
No, they're not. By the way, let's look at the bingo card real quick. The deep state, forced sterilization, trying to figure out what else there might be. I think that's probably it. Can we get word salad? I don't think it's been word salad. He's understandable. He's just, you know. He didn't actually quote any of the Q stuff, though, so I don't know.
4 years will destroy a legitimate Biden presidency where he controls the full military.
No, you're probably right, though. Even though he didn't specifically say, like, this is from 17th letter of the alphabet anon. It's definitely that. You're right. Go ahead and mark number 16 on the bingo card. The QAnon claimed as a source thing. I'm very inconsistent with bingo. I apologize. I don't think that was died of laughter. I laughed, but it wasn't that funny.
Would destroy the whole entire U.S. country, which would remove the policemen of the world, which means that the New World Order would be put into place, and they would really accelerate the deaths of people all over the world. We're talking the first 4 years, there could be up to 100 million deaths. After the first 4 years, we could see hundreds of millions to even billions of deaths over the course of the next 10 years. It's definitely possible that if Trump lost this war over the course of the next 20 years, there would be less than
over the course of the next 20 years, Peter, Donald Trump is 74 years old. Do you think he's going to be 94? What the fucking hell?
Billion people left 20 years from now because of the major depopulation agenda that has been put into place. So the magnitude of what's happening is very serious. That's why I pay close attention to Trump's body language. Trump knows the severity, the magnitude of what his loss would cause, how many people would die. And so as a result, if he's completely lost and all hope is lost and he just wants us to be safe, obviously he does, he would literally be like, guys, go get a doomsday bunker, go hide.
Trump does not care about you. You could die in front of Donald Trump and he would not care. He would definitely laugh if it was something a little bit funny. Like, he would not give a shit.
Protect yourself. I've lost. It's game over. Remember, he's on our side. So, strategically, if Trump literally gave up and he's not going to run until 2024 or something like that, or he has no big move, or he's not going to come and save us, strategically, he would be like, guys, go run away. Make yourself safe. Protect yourself. Arm up.
Okay, first of all, again, like people said in the chat, you are catastrophizing. You are imagining a doomsday situation based on the fact that you think a single politician isn't going to get into power, which is ridiculous. And secondly, even if there was a doomsday scenario, Trump would not care about you. Trump does not care about you, Peter. He does not care about you. Get that into your head. Make that a part of you, because it is the truth.
Do all these things to make yourself protected because they're coming for you, right? He would protect us. He would say that. But he's done the complete opposite.
Like, what profound insecurity must there be in a person to, like, deify someone like Donald Trump to the extent that they're like, he has to come and save us. He must. He will. Like, even someone I trusted, I don't know if I'd have that much faith in, much less a politician like Donald Trump.
He's basically been very clear that we're going to win. Everything's going to be great. Great things are happening. Our brightest days are just ahead. That he's basically implied that we don't have anything to worry about. He's got it all under control, which is great because when you think about it, of the two possibilities, clearly he's implying
I would trust you, Baja.
heavily. I mean, he talked about winning 24 times in his CPAC speech. He's implying he will be back to save us. There's two really interesting theories that are floating around in my head. There's one which is we're watching a movie and
we're not watching a movie, Peter. This is real life.
Trump controls the actors in the White House, and that we're just watching a show of how bad the U.S. economy and the whole country would be if there was a
Kitty, come here. Come make fun of Peter with me.
Biden presidency with a deep state control. Then it would be, they're showing us how bad it could be, and once Democrats understand how bad it can be, when Trump swoops in and saves us, the Democrats be like, okay, I saw how bad it was. And
I don't even understand this claim that, like, oh, they're just showing us how bad things are right now. Things are infinitely better under Biden than they were under Trump. I'm fine. I don't agree with Biden on a ton of shit. Have you seen the pictures of the, like, detention facilities for migrants? It's fucking disgusting. And general American neo-imperialist bullshit. And you get it. Walking back some statements on, getting rid of, like, $50,000 of student debt per person or whatever. Like, stuff I pretty much expected to happen. But it's better than it was under Trump. Does Peter not understand the perspective that people like us have on this? Does he think we're seriously waking up every day and going, oh my god, we should have listened to the Republicans. I miss Trump. No. I never want to hear Trump speak ever again. That guy's a fucking monster, and I'm glad he's out of the public discourse for the most part.
And I forgive you. But then there's another scenario which maybe there is no movie going on, at least not in the White House, and the deep state actually does have some control of the White House. I'm not sure which theory.
Did I put deep state on the bingo card? I'd hope so. You said it like 50 times. I did. Good.
Let me know in the comment section which theory you're leaning on. Are we watching a show? Is it all fake, or are we experiencing the deep state actually controlling the government? Not the military. I've seen no moves by the military that shows that the deep state has any control of the military. I don't see any deep state like military moves, but it's possible that the deep state has gained access to a large portion of the government.
He's going to get $600 for his daughter soon. I would bet if it was like a stimulus thing or something, I could absolutely see Peter being like, I got my stimulus check. This is absolute proof that Donald Trump is in charge of the government, because Biden would never give me money. Like, I could see him being that deluded that that's a video he would make.
And they are wreaking havoc on the United States. And if that's the case, then Trump would have to act very, very, very soon. And I'm leaning towards that being the possibility that the deep state does have some control over the government. And if that is the case, which I believe there's a good chance
the deep state's not a real thing. If you guys know what the deep state is supposed to be, it's basically boring government bureaucrats. Except imagined as like a secret evil cabal. It's not a thing that exists.
There is, Trump has to act sooner than later. Now, is it possible he could don't do anything this year and then act in 2022? Yeah, in theory it is, but if the deep state legitimately has control, then what's going to happen is there'll be so much damage done over the course of a year that it's just horrible strategy to let all that damage happen. So it makes sense to act this year as soon as possible. You have to act quickly if the deep state, if there's an imminent threat to the country and the world.
Did I ever show you guys this cool keychain someone made? This is off topic, but my ADHD is telling me to show you guys. So there's this chick tract called The Last Generation. If you haven't seen my YouTube stuff from the past decade with actual Jake, it's going to be confusing to you. But someone made me a bead thing that is this chick tract, but in beads. It's very, very cool. And it's also got a little star from the main character of that, or one of the main characters. Quite cool. All right, back to Peter's bullshit.
Trump, the urgency to act is intense. He has to act soon. Now, if we're watching a movie, which is another possibility.
Yes, his name is Harold Penisman. I know.
There's just actors, Kamala Harris is an actor wearing a mask. Biden is an actor wearing a mask. And we're just watching pretend of how bad the United States would be under a Biden presidency. If that's if that's what's really happening and the Patriots are in control.
It's not what's happening. It's not what's happening at all.
We're just watching a show. We're watching a movie. And then that means there is no imminent threat, in which case Trump could wait more than a year in theory, because the Patriots are in control. They can make sure there's minimal damage, and Democrats especially learned a lesson of how bad things could be without Trump. And they learned a lesson, but the damage would be minimum, and there's no imminent danger. There's nothing super serious that's going to defeat Trump, and he can take his time in teaching Democrats and Americans who voted for Biden a lesson. That is a possibility.
I like that even within his fantasy of who Donald Trump is, he's still vindictive enough that he would, lie to hundreds of millions of Americans for years just to vindictively, punish people who didn't vote for him in a democratic election. Even Peter's imagined version of Donald Trump is a horrible despot. He just happens to like him.
As well. I'm not sure. I've been back and forth on both theories. I have seen some evidence that seems to look like Biden is an actor wearing a mask and Kamala is an actor wearing a mask. It's a possibility.
No, they're not.
Possibility. But what I do find interesting is that there's so many firsts that we've never seen. We have Biden flying into the inauguration in a military plane, not Air Force One.
Air Force One is a military plane. But yeah, he has used Air Force One since then. He didn't get sent a plane. I've posited that I think it's because Trump is just a dick and chose not to send him a plane. And he has flown in it since. Also coronavirus, so they might have been cleaning it or cleaning different planes and stuff.
Biden didn't use Air Force One before, as an incumbent president, which is...
Sure, he's using it now, though. Trump was also using it, I think, to leave, because Trump had left Washington, D.C. and didn't attend the inauguration. Let me see. Biden. Air Force One. You've all seen Biden in front of Air Force One already, because there was a pretty viral video from a couple weeks back where he, like, tripped going up the stairs. He pulled Gerald Ford. Did Gerald Ford do that? Was it Jimmy Carter? I don't remember. I know there was a pretty famous one where a president fell down the stairs at one point. But yeah, Biden has been on Air Force One multiple times.
Which is unheard of. And also, you have the whole fact that Kamala Harris has still not moved in after 2 months into her vice presidential quarters, you know.
This is actually interesting. The vice president does get, like, a house. It's not the White House. It is a separate property in D.C., and right now it's being completely renovated, so they're not living there right now, which a bunch of people like Peter, who are conspiracy theorists, have been like, oh, she must not actually be the vice president because she's not in the traditional vice president house. Guess where she is, chat? She's staying, her and her family are staying in a guest area of the White House, which to me seems to point to the fact that she is in fact the vice president. You know, also, this is a helpful tool if you ever wonder who the vice president is. Who is the vice president? Like, you can just look this up. Kamala Harris is the vice president. Just in case you're curious.
The vice president gets a place to stay that just all vice presidents go to, but...
Happy birthday, Spanish Mosshay. Hope you have a good one.
Kamala Harris is...
Oh, you turned 27, too. I just turned 27 in March.
Complaining that she hasn't got access to it yet, which is very weird. And then you have the military, which this is the first time the military is being controlled by the deep state, supposedly, but the military is going around saving lives, protecting people, doing good stuff. There's so many firsts we've seen with this administration that makes me think that something is going on that is out of the ordinary. Either
I guarantee Peter has not paid attention to a single, like, presidential administration since Trump. Like I don't mean since Trump. Before Trump. I guarantee Trump was the first president he ever paid attention to. And he's like, this is unprecedented.
Half the government is controlled by Trump, which is the military, and the rest has been controlled by deep state, or we are watching a movie, because there's so many weird things going on. If there's a...
Or, Occam's razor, Trump lost the presidency fairly. Biden got elected the president, was inaugurated in January, and is now the commander-in-chief, with Kamala Harris as his vice president. I'm going to go with that one.
Serious threat, Trump will come in and save us. If there's not, then maybe we'll suffer a fake show and everything will be kind of good, but there will be some bad stuff that'll be allowed to happen, like increasing gas prices and, you know, the raise in insulin prices or stuff like that, to teach people a lesson of how bad a Democratic presidency would be at this point. But I'm just so back and forth on the two theories. I definitely want to know in the comment section, because you guys are very intelligent. What do you think? Are we watching a movie and the Patriots have full control, and we're just watching the finale of Trump teaching Democrats a lesson of how bad Biden presidency is with people with...
It's been fine. Again, I'm grading on the curve of other U.S. presidents. It's been fine.
Mask, and it's all a show, it's all a movie. Or does the deep state have control? And there's an imminent threat, and the New World Order could be put into place if Trump doesn't act very soon. Either scenario is there would be a point where Trump would come in.
Biden doesn't have power over the Arkansas thing, but yeah, that's terrible.
And save the day, or basically, you know, protect us from the end of the world. So I'm 100% confident Trump will come in and save the day. In either scenario, Trump's going to appear 99% chance, some point this year. Like I said,
99%. Another stat he just pulled right out of his butt.
it makes perfect sense in August when Mike Lindell said it. Not a lot of people are convinced by that, but I do think it is a strong possibility because Mike Lindell is the only person.
I'm pretty sure the governor did veto it, but it was they just have to get like a simple majority, I think, to overturn the veto, and I'm sure they will.
Person to give release date and when Trump will come back, and he is Trump's close friend, so he would be in on the plan. But
wasn't it 100% earlier? We lost 1%. He goes back and forth between 100 and 99% on stuff like that. They already overrode it. Yeah, I kind of assumed that would happen.
What I do know for sure is it's definitely going to be this year, because in either scenario, it doesn't take more than a year to teach Democrats a lesson about how bad a Biden presidency is with this whole movie. And if there's an imminent threat, deep state controls the government, Trump wouldn't want to wait more than a year, because there'd be so much damage done to the United States and the world that it wouldn't be worth it strategically. So I definitely think very soon this year, hopefully, I mean, sooner than better, because a lot of people are losing hope, Trump will come in and save the day. It makes perfect sense for Trump to come save the day, because if not, it's the end of the world. If the Patriots aren't controlled.
This is another perfect argument. And again, I've said this before. If you're in an actual debate with someone, you don't want to just list fallacies or whatever. It's not an effective way to argue. You should be able to recognize them and argue against them effectively, but just saying this is a that fallacy, don't do that. But for illustrative purposes here, this is an argument from consequences, not to mention all the other issues with the argument. But Peter just outright saying, like, this has to be true, otherwise the end of the world would happen. First of all, the end of the world isn't going to happen, but for him to say Trump must be doing this because if he doesn't, then this thing I don't like will happen, that's not an argument that really logically follows from A to B to C, right? But
and he's not going to come and save the day. It's the end of the world, and in my head, that doesn't process. I'm an optimist. I have an optimism bias, and it makes no sense that God would be like, all right, guys, my man Trump, he failed, and so it's the end of the world, and you're all going to have to suffer and die.
That sounds exactly like the God of the Bible, if I'm being honest.
That's ridiculous.
Have you read the thing? He's kind of a vindictive asshole.
Ridiculous. But there is no middle ground. There's no Trump will come back in 2024 and everything will be fine. I promise you.
Watch the goalpost shift as we get closer to 2024, and Peter's going to be like, well, now we can go start talking about Trump 2024.
That is impossible. That's just not going to happen. Something big is going to happen, and it's going to be this year. You just have to relax. I know there's a lot of dates come out, and people are burnt out from dates, but at the minimum, I recommend we all trust Trump has a plan. When Trump's confident and says our brightest days are just ahead, you know it's going to be good. And he said you love how this movie ends. So let me in the comment section, is this a movie we're watching, or does Deep State have control of half the government, or does Deep State control all the government? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you so much. Now, since my YouTube channel is a little bit smaller, I actually do think I have time to reply to most, if not all, the comments. So I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. Thank you so much, guys. If you're open to it, please pray for me to get my YouTube channel back. I'm going to pray myself and really work on getting it back. And cross my fingers, hopefully I'll get it back. All right, everyone, thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.
Read the comments. All right. Comment number 1. I trust God and I trust the patriots for this country. Happy Easter, everybody. Don't forget, Jesus saves, bro. I trust in the Lord. His will be done. I keep telling people something big is about to happen. Yeah, Q people have been saying that since like 2017. I keep telling people something big is about to happen because everything is just too weird for it not to. But then I start talking to them only to discover that most people don't even know what Q is. Happy Resurrection Day. Happy Easter. I assume this came out on Easter. Today is Easter. What booms happened? I guess no boom happened, just as I thought. My guess was correct. Wow, he hearts a lot of comments. Well, Easter's almost over and nobody's been arrested. Pretty biblical. Please do a backup channel and make sure you get it out to your subscribers in every video so you don't lose that many subs again. I feel so bad for you. You had a ton of subs in your other channel, but it's happening to a lot of YouTubers. Try and get on a live stream with Scotty McKay, Patriot Street Fighter, another conspiracy theorist guy, Dave Snedeker, Michael Jocko, David Nino Rodriguez, or Prepping 101. I just gotta save this so I can look up these channels later. Hold on. I always like when they give me recommendations accidentally for other channels to look at. Recommendations. Thank you, Peter, for always staying positive. Thank you for being honest about the difference between your opinion and info you get from sources. Thank you for vetting your sources. I've read all the comments today looking to see what people voted for, movies versus waiting game. I was disappointed more people didn't vote. My guess, based on how you asked for prayer, is that you were being understanding of those in your audience who don't celebrate Easter or Passover. Thank you for being neutral. I'll pray for you and your work getting the encouraging message out. I also bounce back and forth between the idea that we're watching a movie or we're waiting for the courts to hear the evidence. The court's not going to, because there is no evidence. Less than 20% of our election court cases have even heard the evidence, and a majority of those ruled in favor of the GOP plaintiffs. I also think there's a war being fought off camera, and we can't see Trump as president until we're solidly winning the war. Again, they think the real life is a movie. It is scary. Interesting stuff. Please stop this, man. Give this grift up and find solutions to clear your debt, earn an honest living, and support your wife and 3 children. Please do not rely on this platform for a living, if not for your own sake, then for the sake of your children. God bless. Pretty much agree with that statement. Okay, that's enough Peter and his audience for the day. Interesting stuff. I hope that guy comes back to reality, though. I feel real bad for his kids.